Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. Support to disadvantaged students and foster families in listening. Voluntary blood donation in Central Region. Saudi Arabia cuts oil output. Bronze stolen by British colonial forces returned. In our domestic news, the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare branch in Tasani subzone extended material support to disadvantaged students and foster families in the subzone. Accordingly, 450 foster families were provided with cards and 132 disadvantaged students were extended with school materials, indicating that the support was in continuation of the program with a view to improve the livelihoods of women that are caring for disadvantaged children, as well as enable disadvantaged students follow their education undeterred by lack of school materials. Ms. Dahab Yusuf, head of the branch office, said that the similar support to disadvantaged families and students will continue every year, pointing out that supporting disadvantaged students and citizens is not to be left to the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare alone. Ms. Dahab commended the residents of Tasani subzone for the initiative they are taking in support of disadvantaged families. The beneficiary women, on their part, commended the support they were extended with and further expressed readiness to work hard to improve their livelihoods. Employees of several governmental institutions in the Central Region voluntarily donated 546 units of blood with a view to enrich blood supply of the National Blood Transfusion Center. The voluntary blood donors were from the Ministries of Energies and Mines, Finance and National Development, as well as staff members of the PFDJ in the Central Region, Amber Share Company, National Service Training Center, Musa Ali and Budoho Construction Companies, College of Health Science and Postal Service of Eritrea, pointing out that they have been donating blood regularly since 2004. Mr. Mohammed Anta and Mr. Angasom Katama from the Budoho Construction Company said that there is psychological satisfaction in donating blood to save lives. The voluntary blood donors are also expressed conviction to continue donating blood. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 2 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at testing stations in the Central Region. On the other hand, 3 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospital in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from the facility. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 10,072, while the number of deaths stands at 103. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 10,182. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 12 October 2022. Those are domestic news. Please stay tuned now for the international right after the short break. Joe Biden has warned Saudi Arabia that there will be consequences after a global cartel of oil-producing countries led by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Russia announced that they would cut oil production despite Washington's objection. His remarks came a day after influential Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said that the U.S. must immediately freeze all cooperation with Saudi Arabia, including arms sales. Last week, the OPEC Plus groups said it would slash oil production targets by 2 million barrels a day, defying pressure from the U.S. Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, said the decision aimed to destabilize the oil market, not drive up prices, amid interest rates hikes by central banks and the prospects of a global recession. But critics argued the production curbs raise oil price globally, which generates more revenue for Russia to continue to fund its war in Ukraine, despite Western-imposed sanctions on its economy. The move was also seen as a diplomatic slap in the face of the Biden administration as it prepares for November's critical midterm elections next month. A bronze sculpture of a West African king that has been in the collection of a Rhode Island museum in more than 70 years was amongst the 31st culturally precious objects that have been returned to the Nigerian government. The sculpture, called the Head of a King, or Oba, from the Rhode Island School of Design Museum, RIST, was among the objects transferred to the Nigerian National Collections during a ceremony at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. The Benin bronzes were stolen in 1897 when British colonial forces ransacked and looted the Benin Kingdom, which is now modern Nigeria. The prizes that were stolen in the late 19th century included 29 that the Smithsonian Institution Board of Regents voted in June to return to Nigeria, and one object from National Gallery of Arts, officials said. The Head of a King piece, which is believed to date to the 1700s, was a gift to the Ritz Museum from Lucy Tuman Aldrich in 1939. It has been acquired in a 1935 sale of objects from the Benin Kingdom from the Knoedler Gallery in New York, the museum said in a statement. A French customs stamp on the interior suggested it had been in French collection. Although the Rist Museum has not been able to trace the piece to a specific French or British collection, it is almost certainly one of the looted objects, the museum has said. Please hit tune now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Support to disadvantaged students and foster families in Thessaly. Voluntary blood donations in Central Region. Saudi Arabia cuts oil outwards. Bronzes stolen by British colonial forces returned. And that was our news. It is good night from us.